Did you wash the dishes now? In the dining hall, right? You clean everything, right? Or not? Not. So this is the issue in our life, right? We have to wash dishes, and we also have to practice. You have to listen to them, and you have to practice wash the dishes. Can we do both? Yeah, I think this story can help us to understand this is the real struggle in our life. As particularly as lay people living your life, you have we have to wash dishes, and we have to do laundry, you have to take care of your children, you have to take care of your house, you have to do a job, and and you have to involve with that, right? And then on addition, and Bhante also asked you to come for monthly program. Right? and and also ask you to come and ask you to do a spiritual practice. So, okay, not to talk about monthly program, but whenever we talk to people, we should learn the Dhamma, we should practice the Dhamma, we should meditate. The common answer we'll get: we have no time. We have no time. We have to take care of children, take care of the work, and do the dishes, and clean, and I have no time. And then we have to cut grass, we don't no time to listen to Dhamma, because we have to cut grass and clean, and that is the issue we have. So, like, but in this story, the master said that go and wash your bowl, wash your plate, as the first part of your spiritual training. So how we can balance, or how we can join our spiritual growth, meaning that we want to develop our letting go, we want to develop our patience, we want to develop our compassion, we want to develop our deeper understanding of life, and how we can reconcile our development of understanding life, our development of compassion and those qualities, and our daily routine, our social duties, our social responsibilities, how we can combine. Any suggestion? So in this case, this Zen master asks him to go and wash the bowl. Can someone develop a deeper understanding of life by washing a bowl, washing a plate? Have you washed your plate? Do you wash your plate at home? Or do you wash your cup? Or just put in the sink? Let someone else to wash that. Akita, what do you do? Both? You mean sometimes you put in the sink, or some? Yeah. Sometimes you wash. How about Saki? Saki? Both means, yeah. So sometimes you just keep in the sink, and sometimes you wash. You put the cup in the sink, and somehow the next day it is cleaned by itself. No. So what happened to it when you put in the sink? Clean. Yes. Yes. Yeah. And and so I but sometimes you clean it, right? Sometimes we clean it. And why sometimes we don't clean it? You should have a good reason to do that, right? Why don't you clean it sometimes? Yes. Anyone? Why? Hmm?
Why someone will do that, right?
Maybe, I don't know, because sometimes you wash it, sometimes you don't. Maybe you have a good reason not to do it. I'm just curious. What could be the reason? Timal, can you guess? What could be their reason not to wash?
Time or you forgot.
Oh, no, yeah, maybe they don't have time, maybe busy, right? Yes, Sakya?
You have schoolwork or you don't want to do.
You have to? You have? You have?
We were playing.
Or you don't want to do it. Okay. Yeah. So, but this same teacher told his disciple as a first teaching of his learning is to go and wash his own bowl, wash the bowl that he ate. Right. So so according to him, that's a very, very special spiritual practice to wash our own bowl, to clean the environment that we live, keep things clean, and try not to be a burden to others is a very important spiritual practice. So it shows that actually the ordinary things that we do in our daily life, and sometimes these things that we find it very boring. What is the most boring chores at your home? What is the most boring one? Dishes or folding laundry? Yes, that one, right? That takes a long time, right?
Yeah.
And also even ironing, right?
Yeah.
Ironing take time. Fortunately, we don't have to iron, but sometimes I have to iron this, but it takes a long time, right? So those boring things that we hate to do at home can be actually good practices that we can transform into something meaningful. So when we think about how washing a bowl can be a spiritual practice, right? And imagine that one thing is that when you wash the bowl, you are being grateful to that bowl and to every food that you got the chance to eat. And the reason that you got, I mean, you got a bowl to wash means you got a meal to eat. That's already a great thing because not many people have a meal to eat every time. There are many people and beings who do not have, they don't have the opportunity to, eat a meal every day. So whenever we wash our bowl, it can be an opportunity for us to be grateful. I had a meal today. So someone has prepared that meal for us. Someone has cooked that meal for us. So when you wash the bowl, it can be a moment that we can practice gratitude. When we wash your dishes, and we can turn it to a practice of gratitude. We remember that maybe there could be times in your life that it was hard to find our meal. But right now, our issue is not finding a meal. Issue is washing the plate, which is it's a minor case, right? The minor problem. But there could be people who have an issue of not washing the plate, not having anything to eat. So reflecting on that and then thinking about our own life story and how hard it was for some time for us to eat a good meal, but right now we have, overcome that. And now we have somehow, this opportunity to have enough food. So we feel deeply grateful for our own life conditions and also feel compassionate to people who are still having difficulties in finding meal. So when you're washing the plate, it becomes an opportunity for us to reflect on our own life and be grateful. Yes, Nancy?
What about paying the, I want to say, the benefit you get at paying attention to washing the bowl?
Very good. Yeah, that will be the next step. So because initially you develop this gratitude, that I got the chance to wash the bowl, I got the chance to eat. I feel grateful. Then once you have that gratitude, that attitude of gratitude, that grateful attitude, then you are willing to really do it willingly. Otherwise, we will do it with some kind of resentment. I had to do the washing. All everyone else eat, and I had to do the washing. And you will do it with complaining mind, and then you will not get the chance to pay attention to the actual thing.
I was thinking more about being here now.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm being here now,
Now.
washing the bowl.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. I would say that in order for us to have that kind of open mind, and of course that will be the next thing, that we are fully mindful of the very process of washing it. and then feeling the touch of the water, feeling the touch of the soap, and go through that whole experience as if, you are like fully embracing every bit of that experience. But I'm saying that it will be helpful for us to start with a gratitude to pay such a close attention. If we have that, resentfulness in the mind and then complaining that this is very unfair, I had to do this, or maybe think that, why this food is so sticky, this is not, it's not going. So in order for us to get rid of that resentment, it's important to have this grateful attitude. Then our mind may be more ready to pay attention. So the next, actually, when the Zen master said that go and wash your bowl, what he really meant is that, and do whatever activity you do with full presence of the mind. And then you are in that activity. We are washing the bowl. You are not thinking about what happened yesterday. You're not like blaming, like thinking about something going to happen tomorrow. You simply wash the dishes with full awareness, with full attention. So when we, as you mentioned, when you really do it with full awareness, it helps us to be free from unnecessary thoughts. The large percentage of our problems, our pain, and our suffering is due to constant worries, constant thoughts that will occur in our mind, and sometimes they are not necessarily going to be truthful. So many things that we imagine in our mind never happen. Don't you think so? So many things that we imagine that might happen, we worry, and then it never happens. There are so many such things. So when we are really washing the dishes or anything with full awareness, we can be free from those unnecessary thinking. We are actually weakening our habitual thought patterns. Instead, we are paying full attention to the actual experience. And then we begin to feel that whole thing and then enjoy it. So I would say even like a boring thing like folding your clothes, even like ironing the ironing the clothes. We can do it maybe with a little bit more attention, be in that moment as a way to help our mind to be free from unnecessary thoughts. Right? Yeah. And how many people are here who are cutting the grass? One, okay. Two, okay. Yeah. Do you do it? Like, do you enjoy it, or someone has to remind you a few times to do it?
I have to make myself do
Do it. Yeah. Yes, it's not an easy. Yeah. So what but you still do it, right? Yeah. So so let's say you have the opportunity to meditate, and then you have to sacrifice your meditation time to cut your grass. How do you balance that?
Meditate while cutting your grass.
Wonderful. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So what kind of meditation we can do when you're cutting the grass?
Walking meditation.
Huh?
Walking meditation.
Yes. Okay. We have. I mean, he's attending our Sunday meditation. So walking meditation, right? Yeah, we can do walking meditation. So, but they are not walking. I think you are.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, push more.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe if it's a push more, we can do walking meditation, right? Yeah. Okay. Push more. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, of course, we can bring mindfulness. So we can bring mindfulness to any activity, like even like washing dishes. Then it can be a mindful practice, right? So I think we need to understand the deeper meaning of any daily activities we do. If you look at it from a wider perspective, we can do it as a spiritual practice. And maybe if our goal of cutting the grass is maybe keeping the environment clean, maybe keeping the neighborhood clean, I don't know, maybe we can find a more deeper meaning to why we are doing it. So so we can think about the larger goal, and then we can endure the hardships that we are doing, like even like for ironing the clothes, right? It will be very tedious work, right? But maybe say, okay, I just want my my children, my husband to look good. right? And who am I? So like having having that compassionate wish, right? So wishing with compassion, you do it. So why I'm doing it? Asking the why I'm doing it. Who will benefit from it? So having that, so that we can convert it to a compassion, and then it will make things easy for us to do. So that's one other way. But anyway, I think when we think about spiritual practice, I think in spiritual practice there are two elements to it. One is we become refrain from doing harm. That is one part of our spiritual practice. First, we stop harming. That's one. Second part of spiritual practice is we perform good or wholesome beneficial things. Okay, did you get it? One is refraining from doing harm. Other one is doing or performing good deeds. So beneficial deeds. Those are the two things. When you think about the refraining, so by refraining harm itself is a great service. I mean, if you cannot help someone, even try not to hurt anyone. It's already a great service, right? So the first aspect of the spiritual path, what you call sabba papa sakarana, like refraining from doing harm or unwholesome things. And then doing wholesome things could be purposely doing things to benefit others, just like what you did today. You spend your time to cook a meal, and you dedicated your time, you make long distance drive, and you want to benefit others. You want to you want to help someone to have a good meal and be free from hunger. So it's act of generosity. So when you do act of generosity, it one hand it purifies our mind. There's an inner cultivation, purify our mind, we purify from our greed, but at the same time it's also helping someone to be free from hunger. So it supports in both ways. But when we think about this refrain from harm, actually, interestingly, the Buddha has said that the 5 precepts that we follow, the 5 precepts that we renew our vows every time, 5 precepts are interpreted by the Buddha as 5 great acts of generosity, or dana. 5 precepts are form of dana, form of giving. පන්සිල් රකිනාම කියන ලොකු දානයක් දෙනවා කියලා බුදුහාමුදුරුවෝ දේශනා කරා. In the sutta called Abhisanda Sutta in Anguttara Nikaya, Buddha said that there are 5 types of dana that has been praised by the Buddha and praised by many other spiritual teachers, that never been criticized by anyone so far. The 5 types of dana, 5 types of giving. And what are these 5 types of giving? Buddha said that these 5 gifts are great, primordial, long-lasting, traditional, and ancient. They are uncorrupted, as they have been since the beginning. They are not being corrupted now, or nor will they be. Sensible ascetics and teachers don't look down on them. What 5? Firstly, a disciple gives up killing living creatures. By so doing, they give countless sentient beings the gift of freedom from fear, enmity, and ill will. When you commit ourselves not to kill or harm any living beings, we are giving a special gift to countless living beings. What is that gift? Gift of fearlessness, abhedana. Gift of fearlessness. And then as a result, they will also be free from enmity. Because if you don't hurt anyone, then you don't provoke their anger. So we are also giving a gift, another gift to them, that is freedom from anger. And if someone not getting angry, he will not harbor anger. When you harbor the anger, we call it ill will, a constant resentment, resentfulness. We call ill will or vyapada. So Buddha says abhyandeti, and then averandeti, and abhyapajandeti. We give 3 gifts to living beings when we promise ourselves not to kill or harm any living beings. Gift of fearlessness, gift of gift of fearlessness, and also freedom from anger and freedom from ill will to countless beings. Countless beings. And then furthermore, a disciple gives up stealing and also gives up lying, gives up, sexual misconduct, and gives up using intoxicants or drinks or alcohol, or giving up intoxicants. When you do this, whenever we promise that I'm not going to steal anyone's things, I'm not going to take anyone's things unlawfully. When you make that commitment, and you are already giving a freedom to so many people, then people can rest assured, oh, my things will not be taken by anyone. Let's say you brought your handbag here and you left it in the dining hall, and there were so many important things there. So recently you just draw some money from the bank and it is there, and in your cell phone is there, everything is there, and it is in the dining hall. You are here. How do you feel when you remember, oh, I forgot my handbag in the dining hall? What do you feel? What do you feel? What you would feel? Let's say you forget your handbag in the dining hall, and very, very many valuable things there, and what you feel? Definitely we will be anxious, right? Feel anxiousness and afraid. But suddenly you realize, oh, everyone here has taken 5 precepts, and everyone here has vowed to not to steal anyone's things. When you remember that, oh, that's worry, don't worry, I just go whenever I can go, it will be there. If everyone in this community is following that precept, what kind of freedom you will get, right? Although we have forgotten it, we have left it over there, but we have some kind of trust, some kind of freedom from anxiousness, because the people have promised not to steal. In the same way, when people have promised not to engage in sexual misconduct, and not to engage in lying, and not to engage in using intoxicants, and that not to be lost their mindfulness and be drunken, and then that will give countless beings. That's what Buddha said, that it will give countless beings this gift of fearlessness and gift of freedom from fear and enmity. And that is called the best gift. So by following 5 precepts, so that means spiritually we refrain from doing certain things. So that already making a very big, good, positive impact on others. So it's also a social service according to the Buddha. Following precept is a form of social service. You are giving so much higher level of dana to others in that sense. But then Buddha also talk about other ways that we can be beneficial to society by and while not diminishing or sacrificing our own spiritual growth. And Buddha said that there are Buddha talk about attahita and parahita. We can understand the meaning, right? Attahita means one who is practicing for the benefit of oneself, and parahita means person who is practicing for the benefit of others. So Buddha said there can be people who are practicing only for the benefit of themselves, but not for the benefit of others. And there can be people who are practicing for benefit of others, but not for the benefit of themselves. But there can be people who are practicing both for the benefit of oneself and others. And there can also be people who are practicing neither for the benefit of oneself nor for the benefit of others. So four categories of people. And so how Buddha he said here, actually, those who are practicing precepts and those are practicing try to overcome try to overcome one's own craving, one's own greed, and try to, doing practices to remove one's own hatred, one's own delusion, are the people who are practicing for the benefit of themselves. They engage in those practices, but do not encourage others to do so. There could be people who are practicing to look into their own mind and observe their own cravings and try to minimize them, observing one's own anger and try to minimize them, and try to develop one's own understanding and wisdom, and removing the delusion, engage in listening to Dhamma and reading the books and having discussion. So one can do all these practices, but does not necessarily encourage others to do so. So such a person is practicing for the benefit of oneself, but not for the benefit of others. I think that is why, here we try to get others also involved. And there can also be other person, the person who practices for the benefit of others, not for themselves. It is when a person doesn't practice to remove their own greed, hate, and delusion, but encourage others to remove theirs. There are many people who are doing that. Yes. No, they don't look into their own mind, but they preach others to do so. Yeah, that is the people who are practicing for the benefit of others, but not for themselves. But a person who is practicing for the benefit of oneself and others, it is when a person doesn't practice to remove. So person who practice to remove their own greed, hate, and delusion, and also encourage others to do so. Those are the people who are actually practicing for the benefit of others. And also Buddha said the one who practice the precepts, follow the precepts, and also encourage others to follow the precepts. So I think what Buddha saw as a social responsibility is not to sacrifice our spiritual practice and go out and try to help others, but actually establish oneself in a spiritual practice and then be an example for others and also encourage others to do so. So you can talk from your own experience to so the real social service according to this is not only giving food, doing charity or helping others materially. That's great. But the real social service is actually helping others also to be mentally strong and then spiritually evolve. That is a true social service. So that can be done by first being an example, and then also speaking from your own experience, you can help others. If you know how difficult it is to get rid of anger, if you really have tried, you know how to help others to get rid of their anger, because you have gone through it. You know how challenging it is. You have followed different techniques, and definitely you can also encourage others to do so. I think in our Buddhist practice, we try to get others also involved, in our good practices. Like whenever we give dana, we try to get many people, involved in that dana. And even when you offer flowers, you may bring the flowers by yourself, but you want everyone else also to be part of that. So that is why we bring that flower pot to others and let others also at least touch, so to symbolically be part of that offering. So that means you're actually practicing for the benefit of yourself and also practicing for the benefit of others. So that is the actually true way that we can be. We can balance our spirituality and also our social service. So I think as mothers, as fathers, as members of a society, as anyone who are having a social role, actually we can perform our social role more as a way of service to others, and then try to see the large purpose of doing that, and transform that normal daily routine into something that is really benefiting others, and do it with gratitude, do it with appreciation. So that way we can transform our daily routine, boring activities to spiritual beneficial activities. But at the same time, the real social service is actually sticking to our own spiritual practice and then inspire others also to spiritually evolve. Because we can keep feeding people, or we can keep donating or giving them to people, but the real help is to to help them to help themselves. Isn't that so? Hmm? Because all other help will be very temporary. We should do it, in the case of emergency, in case of, like extreme cases, we should, really help them. But the true help come, when we help others to help themselves. So the way to help others to help themselves is to actually encourage them to have a spiritual practice, encourage them to, develop their own mind, encourage them to, engage in, following precepts, and developing understanding of the mind. So we cannot do it unless we do it for ourselves. So that is how we can be of service to others. So I think I will stop here, and then we can have some discussion on how to balance our spiritual practice with others. And maybe I will end with another story. There was a time that actually, again, a master and a disciple, they were, they were walking along the forest. They're having a discussion, and they have learned about the interconnectedness of life, how everything is interconnected, how everything is interdependent. So along the the disciple was thinking about the teaching he got from the master, that everything is interconnected, everything is interdependent, everything is connected to each other in cause and effect manner. So he was thinking about along the way, and then suddenly in the middle of the forest, he said, Master, I got it. I had the deep realization. Everything is connected. We are all one. He said, we are all one. That means I connected to you, you connected to me, you help me, I help me. We all kind of relying on each other. So everything's connected. So Master, I just realized we all are one. And Master, Master nodded, smiling, yes. And they keep walking. And after few distance, a few miles, suddenly a tiger appeared. A tiger appeared. And then disciple was so anxious and looked for the master, he couldn't see the master. Master has vanished. He saw that actually master has quickly climbed a tree. And he was looking for the master. Master had already been very quick and have climbed a tree. It's already on the branch. And and then this disciple talked to the master. Master, why you are climbing on a tree? Haven't we realized that we are all one? How can I be afraid of part of me? Because if all are one, tiger is also part of one, right? Saying that, Master, I couldn't figure it out. This, how can I be afraid? Because I cannot be afraid of part of me. So, but you are already kind of climbed the tree. Then Master said that. So he said, I don't understand, Master. We are all one. Why you are so afraid, and you're already in the tree, and I try to figure it out. And the mother said that it is true that all are one, but tiger doesn't know it. So please climb the tree. Please climb the tree. Tiger doesn't know it. He may eat you. So therefore, in a spiritual practice, we also have to bring our practical side. So therefore, we have to, we have to be helpful. We have to, encourage others to be, kind, and but we also have to be, mindful and careful, to whom to approach. So we cannot go around and try to encourage everyone to be so, but we have to use our our skill, our wisdom also to when we want to help others. Okay, so with that, let us open for the questions, and let's discuss any other thoughts or any sharings, any challenges, or any other questions. Yes. Any challenges, when you want to incorporate your spiritual practice into your daily life, into your, other roles, social response? Yes, Kathy.
I guess what I'm struggling with is how do you define spiritual practice? Because, I'm coming from
Hmm.
more Western Christianity
Hmm.
view. That's how I was raised.
Hmm.
It's prayer to God versus, the ethics and morals. But are we tying those together, the ethics and morals, with the spiritual practice, or the ethics and morals the spiritual practice? Or is it how I connect to my meditation and the oneness?
I think that's an interesting, very, very good question. So how you define what is a spiritual, right? Yeah. So maybe we can define this way, maybe inner growth and our social service. The growth and service. So if you divide in that way, so whatever practices that help us to grow our mindfulness, our compassion, our loving kindness, and our wisdom. So those practices could be spiritual. And then, and how we can be beneficial to others and serving others could be social service. So definitely in that case, they are so intertwined. Yeah. Intertwined, because let's say, so developing our generosity is a spiritual practice. That means we want to weaken our craving. We want to weaken our attachment. That brings a lot of suffering. So we want to, do that practice. So one way to do it is to be generous. Generous with your time, generous with your resources, generous with your attention. And so one way to remove your own greed is to be generous. So it's very intertwined. You're actually helping others, but we are also actually growing this, ability of relinquishment within yourself. But there are certain times that we need some, focus attention to like deal with our own, some defilements. Like for example, if you have like maybe anger or resentment or any other, defilements that is bothering us, and we need to really take time to look into that and do our own investigation, and then also go into a deeper level of calmness and experience. There's a different kind of happiness in addition to like happiness of sensual indulgence, like the happiness we get from meditation. So those things, like we need some time to spend, dedicate time to experience those things in order for us to give energy to we can come back and behave well, among others. It is like charging. Sometimes we need to charge, before we do anything. Sometimes activity can also be charging.
භාවනාවයි ස්පිරිචුවලිටි එකයි දෙක කොහොම එකට බැලන්ස් කරන්නේ එකට ගන්න.
භාවනාවයි
දැන් භාවනාවෙන් කොහොමද ස්පිරිචුවලිටි එක ඩ්‍රොප් කරන්නේ?
ඒ කියන්නේ ස්පිරිචුවල් ආධ්‍යාත්මික ගුණ වගේවනේ. භාවනාව කියන්නේ මේ ඉතින් ඒ ආධ්‍යාත්මික ගුණ වඩන එක තමයි. අපි තුක මෛත්‍රී භාවනාව.
භාවනාවෙන් එක ගොඩක් දියුණුවනේ.
හරි.
දැන් කිව්වා සංසුන් වෙනවා.
ඔව්.
එතන කොහොමද ස්පිරිචුවල්ට ජොයින් වෙන්නේ?
ඒ සංසුන් වීම තමයි ස්පිරිචුවල් එකේ ස්පිරිචුවල් කියන්නේ. ඒ ස්පිරිචුවල් එකේ කොටසක් තමයි ඒ calmness එක. ඒක one aspect of spiritual is the calmness. So but meditation is one part of meditation is the calm in the mind. So then we experience deep calmness, stability, serene feeling. That calmness is a part of our spirituality. If you could think about the spiritual qualities, inner calmness is one such quality. So we develop that quality through calming meditation. But meditation is not only for calming. Meditation like Buddha Anusati is cultivating saddha, developing another quality. And loving kindness meditation is also cultivating our potential to be kind and loving and friendly, caring for others. So that's the another aspect of spiritual. So spiritual is like with many aspects, many elements in it. So calmness, generosity, kindness, compassion, and also importantly wisdom. That's the middle. The central part is wisdom, deep understanding, realization. Around it, we have calmness, generosity. Yeah. So the meditation is a direct way of developing it, and giving dana is one way of developing it. But we have to do many dana to develop, do little bit of growth, and then sila, following precepts, another way of developing it. But bhavana is the direct way of developing those special qualities.
I would also like to add a few things. on
Yeah.
this. So I think this topic is very relevant. The struggle is real. So when you're burdened with so many things in life, so it's, I mean, in general, we think that we don't have time to do, but going beyond that, it is not only time, but it is that you are so anxious about things you have done and things you have to do. I think which is related to the Chakukuch aspect, I guess mostly. So like your mind is not calm at all to settle. So I don't know, I have been reflecting on this. So maybe physical disconnectedness or like joining people who are already
Yes.
engaged
Taking
in
the
such
inspiration.
practice.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Physically disconnecting yourself with this
Yeah.
happens sometimes. Yeah.
Yes, correct. Actually, with our daily, obligations, our family obligations, social obligations, and all these things, demand our time, demand our resources, demand our energy. Um, and but what and then of course when you think about our spiritual growth, we think that okay, I will do it after I finish this, I will do it after I finish this. We try to postpone our spiritual growth, but I think what we learn now is actually we can transform our family obligation, social obligation as a part of our spiritual practice.
Yeah, that's one.
Yeah, one aspect of like doing these things with the larger goal of being of service to others and using my time to benefit maybe at least few people. Yeah, but eventually I want to make it bigger. But right now I'm just doing it with full dedication, not with craving, not with any expectation in return. I do it, therefore he has to do this, I do this chore because and then he has to do that chore. I do it at this time, he has to do it next time. So instead of doing that, you just do it as a way of service, right? And so then it transform the mind. And then, as you mentioned, I think if you manage the time, I think we also have a problem of managing the time. Of course, if you really have a real need, we will find time. But sometimes we are distracted so much. If you don't have a discipline, our time can be very easily wasted. Having a kind of timetable is so important, because right these days, if you just take your phone to your hand, you may spend hours, right, without you know it, right? Yeah, sit in front of the TV and you stay for hours, So therefore, we really have to have a discipline, a specific time that we will sit down and be away from any other things, and then directly look into your own mind and maybe have a direct, maybe think about the qualities of the Buddha, do Buddha Vandana and do a short silent meditation, even just reflect of the day, what happened of the day, and look back on what happened on the day with a very objective perspective can reveal sort of truth to us. So having a having a routine that I will spend at least 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes to do my chanting and do my meditation is very important. And of course, having, as you mentioned, being inspired by others, those who do similar things. Yeah. And then, and spiritual friendship is important. Okay. Any other thoughts or questions? Do you do anything at home that you can call spiritual or religious? But we know that you participate of Sunday meditation at least once a week, right? Yeah. That's spiritual. Anything else similar to that? Yes. Oh, Dhamma school. Yes, attending Dhamma Buddhism classes. Yes. Yeah, that is good. And then also we can do other chores at the home. Do you also collect the trashes or bring the trashes? Do you do that too, right? So you can do it as a way of really helping, relieving the burdens of others. So you can do that chore, not in complaining in your mind, but as a way of being of service and like loosening the burdens of others. Particularly at home, if you can do those chores as children, you are really lessening the burden of your parents. Even sometimes washing your own cup can be really a relief of the burden for others, because you are simply adding more work to them. Do you think that your parents have free time? Yeah, or not? What do you think? Sometimes, right? Yeah. So do you think that they don't have enough work, so you can give more works to them? What do you think? No, right? Yeah, no. So we try to not to give more works to them. So we try to do our own things as much as we can. That will be a big help. That will be very spiritual practice if you do it as a way of removing the burdens of others. Okay, so with that, any last thoughts or sharing? Anyone? Yes, yeah.
Just by living life as a lay person, is it possible to reach nirvana or that kind of like a regular person?
Yeah, I think as a lay person, you are thinking about final liberation, right? Nirvana. I think as a lay person, we can make a very big progress. If not all the way, but at least because this, what we call this, liberation happens gradually. So there are different layers of defilements. There are different layers of suffering, different layers of burdens. So we gradually remove those layers, and as a lay person, we can go quite a bit. Even at the time of the Buddha, there were lay people who attain even the level of anagami. They are almost fully enlightened. Yeah. So we can go a long way. But I think what we as a practically what we can think is actually if the enlightenment is like 100% freedom from all defilements, 100% freedom from any burning of suffering, that is 100% final culmination. But in our practice, we try to achieve 5% of that freedom. The whatever freedom that is 100%, we try to achieve 5% of it within our normal life, and we try to increase it to 10%. 10% of freedom, 10% of calmness, 10% of cooling. So that's how we can think about, right? And Bante, you wrote that book, right? The small booklet.
It came to my mind. That is actually this is a gradual path. So even in this moment, you can feel a little bit of the taste of the nirvana
Yeah.
in this moment. So very simply, what we have to understand is that whenever any kind of defilements occur within ourselves related to greed or hatred or delusion, what we call lobha, dosa, or moha, that is where we are far from nirvana or the liberation. We are getting
We are already
far and far.
burning at that
We are
time.
burning.
Yeah.
A burning opposite is extinguishment.
Yeah.
That is nirvana. Nirvana literally means extinguishment, right, Bante? We
Extinct.
use that extinguish to fire, right? That one.
Fire extinguisher.
Extinguish,
Yeah.
yeah. The nirvana literally means extinguishment. So that is burning because of lobha, dosa, and moha. So whenever we feel and we understand, yes, now defilements occur due to hatred, right? Any moment, maybe anywhere. So then if we can manage these thoughts and reduce the power of these defilements, that is where we feel the primary stages of nirvana. That is the start. Then gradually, step by step, we can reach the nirvana. Maybe one day, even a layperson. But at the end, I mean, when we are very close to the nirvana, we have to give up everything. Then you cannot be a layperson anymore. This is something like this. That is why we call this a gradual path. In this birth, very precious birth as a human life we have, what we have done to reach our final goal, ultimate goal, that we have to consider. This is like, for a very simple example, we can take one the likewise a cricket match. This is a simple, very simple, ordinary example, okay? I don't know whether these people don't know about cricket. Maybe soccer, but
Maybe they know
maybe
baseball.
so, baseball. But cricket is maybe we know that 50 over. We have 50 over. We have to earn maybe 300. What you call runs.
It's runs, yeah.
But in the beginning, we should have a plan. We know that we have 50 overs to earn 300 what we call
Runs.
runs. Then each over we have to earn at least 5. The run rate should be 6. But in the first players they do some lazy playing, and but at the end we have only 2 or 3 overs to earn maybe 90 runs. Then what we have to do? We cannot be lazy, and we have to play
Faster.
Yeah. That is in this birth. If we want to reach the nirvana, we have to do more things. We have to play well.
Yeah. So you have to decide whether you want to have a T20 or one day or test.
Yeah.
Actually, any moment when our mind is free from lobha, dosa, and moha, and Buddha said that actually it's called tadanga nibbana. Tadanga means actually for that moment, temporary relief of defilements. We can experience kind of freedom, not full freedom, but because of it's not completely removal, it's minimizing, maybe subduing the anger, subduing the greed and delusion. We can experience glimpse of nirvana. I think we should experience those, freedom and joy. Like, let's say, think about, like, you have some precious things that but you realize that actually someone else is going to benefit from this, and you take into your hand and think about, okay, this was so important to me, but the other person will get more benefit. You made your mind and you donated it. Think about the relief, the kind of it's kind of different kind of joy you experience as a result of that. You were holding into this so thoroughly and always check whether it is there, whether someone has taken it away. You keep checking on it all the while. Now you made your mind, finally it will benefit someone else. You donated it and you feel such a relief, right? And same way, let's say you are really angry with someone, and someone maybe cheated you, betrayed you, and then you think according to the Dhamma and think about everyone is victims of their own defilements. They're not wise enough. Whenever they become wise, they will not do same things. I just have compassion for them. It's okay. And the moment you kind of remove that anger, your heart is free from such a burden, right? So those are the moments we experience glimpses of what you call extinguishment or nibbana. They're not fully, but you can understand. Imagine that if someone can be like that forever, in that freedom forever, that's the kind of transformation that enlightened arahant monks are doing. They make it permanent, and they make it completely even deeper than intense than that. Our joy is not that intense because we haven't completely removed the greed. We just subdue it. But even subduing it can bring us so much freedom. So once we reflect on that freedom, we develop more encouragement, to do this. And that's why we have Chaga Anusati. And in meditation, we say Chaga Anusati, like Buddha Anusati. We also do Chaga Anusati, means we recall the freedom and joy we got when we let go of something, when we give away something, and we reflect on that, and that we can be an encouragement for us to practice more, because we already have some taste, and then we want to make it more permanent and full. Yeah. So we can experience nibbana temporarily. Yes. Okay, so I think with that we can conclude our session. I really appreciate everyone's participation. And we are so happy today we all came today. We also have a few guests from Sri Lanka, and nice to have you all, and also from Columbus, and also from Minneapolis, and also we have another family. Yeah, so yeah. Columbus, yeah. And really appreciate you being here. And now we will do a chanting, blessing chant, Pirit, wishing you all good health, peace, and happiness. Today we spend a very wholesome day. We dedicated this day to listen to the Dhamma. We dedicated this day to honor the Buddha. So in the morning we did our Buddha Puja, honoring the great virtues and wisdom of the Buddha. And then we offer dana to the Mahasangha. Generously we offer that dana, and also we shared our meal with everyone else, and that's acts of generosity. By doing all these wholesome activities, our mind is already purified, and by listening to the Dhamma, we develop more clarity of our life, and also more techniques to make our mind peaceful and free from defilements. And listening to the Dhamma is also another wholesome deed. By doing that, we have all made our mind somewhat wholesome. And right now, let us take a moment to share these merits with all of our departed relatives. Think about your departed parents or any other who have passed away, and let us be grateful to all of them. And whatever good deeds we did today, we dedicate all this meritorious good deed to all of our departed ones. May they all rejoice these good meritorious deeds. May they be well, happy, and peaceful wherever they may be. Idang me ñātinang hotu sukhita huntu ñātayo. Idang me ñātinang hotu sukhita huntu ñātayo. Idang me ñātinang hotu sukhita huntu ñātayo. Let us also share these merits with all other living beings, all the divine beings, and any other being who would like to share this merit. May they all share these merits. May they all be benefited by these merits. May they all be well, happy, and peaceful. Ettavata ca amhihi sambhatang punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. We will now chant for you. So we will chant Pirit, but we will first lead you to meditation before the Pirit. So you just stay in the meditation while our chanting. So you don't have to put your palms together. You just can rest your palm on your lap. And even through the Pirit, try to just stay in the meditation. And this is the best time that we can come to our body and mind and try to feel our body the way it is feeling right now. Take a long, deep in breath. Fill your lungs with fresh air to energize your body. And release that breath very slowly. See the changes happening in the body when you take a long, deep in breath. Take another long, deep in breath. The fresh air in the lungs. And release it slowly, relaxing your chest, belly. And take another such long, deep in breath slowly. And release it slowly, relaxing your shoulders and all the parts of the body. And now you may come to your normal breath and simply feeling that feeling of the in-breath and out-breath, how the body is subtly changing, adjusting with the breath. And listen to the sound of the bell to calm yourself, to settle yourself. With this deep calmness, make a genuine, wholesome wish to yourself, to this whole body. With deep gratitude to our body, make a genuine, wholesome wish. May this whole body be relaxed. May this whole body be healthy. May this whole body be healed. May this mind be calm. May this mind be settled. May this mind be peaceful. Let us now expand this wish to all living beings, generously sharing this peace with everyone else. Many people and beings around the world have no access to whatever calmness, whatever peace we are experiencing right now. Whatever sense of safety we are experiencing right now is rare for a lot of people. With deep compassion and with deep generosity, let us wish that may all people and all beings around the world feel the same sense of safety, same sense of well-being, peace. May all people, all living beings be well, be safe, be healthy, be peaceful, peaceful, Continue this wholesome wishes in your mind until the end of the chanting. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Siriditi matite jo jaya sindhi mahindi mahagunam aparimita punyadikaram sambantaraya nivarana samantasans bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhasans datting mahaburisa lankananubhavena asityanu Bhanjana Lankananuභavena Attuttara Satamangala Lankananuභavena Chambang Narangsyanuභavena Ketumalanuභavena Dasaparamitanuභavena Mitanubhavena dasa paramanta paramitanubhavena sila samadhi panyanubhavena buddhanubhavena dhammanubhavena sanghanubhavena tejanubhavena idyanubhavena balanubhavena nyaya dhammanubhavena Chaturasiti sahasra dhamma kandhanubhavena Navalokottara dhammanubhavena Attangika magganubhavena Atta samapatthyanubhavena Calavinyanubhavena Metta karuna mudita upekkanubhavena Sabba paramitanubhavena Ratanantaya sarananubhavena Tuyam sabbaroga soka upadava dukkha domanas supayasa vinas santo sabba sankham Tuyam samijjanto digayuko hotu satvasansa jive samangiko hotu sambada akasa pambata vanabhumi tataka ganga mahasamudra araksaka devata sada tumhe anurakkantu sabba buddhanubhavena sabba dhammanubhavena sabba sanghanubhavena buddha ratanang dhamma ratanang sangha ratanang tinnang ratananang anubhavena chaturasiti sahasra dhamma kandhanubhavena pitakantyanubhavena jinasavakanubhavena sabbete roga sabbete baya sabbete antaraya sabbete upadava sabbete dunnimitta sabbete avamangala vinasanto ayuvandako dhanavandako sirivandako yasavandako balavandako vannavandako sukhavandako hotu sambada dukkharoga bhaya vera soka sabbe upadava aneka antaraya විනස් සන්තෝජ තේජසා ජය සිද්ධි ධනං ලාභං සොත්ති භාග්‍යං සුඛං වලං සිරි ආයුච වන්නෝ ච භෝගං බුද්ධි ච යසවා සතවස්සා ච ආයුච ජීව සිද්ධි භවන්තු තේ. Let us gently put our palms together and place them against our chest with deep gratitude for this peaceful opportunity to have a spiritual wholesome time. We will say sadhu 3 times. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you. Please come to have a blessing string. You got it yesterday too, right? That should be enough. After 3 days.